we will sell in other cities. So production and consumption, these are two important words in the third chapter. These medieval cities are said to be the launching pad for the development of capitalism in the West. So you see, the medieval cities are said to be the launching pad. That means it is a platform. It is a platform for the development of capitalism in the West. So how it is gradually led to the development of capitalism. Capitalism means the अर्थ कौन? जो गुड़े लोग, the person who has much money, the place which has a much capital is known as a capitalist class or capitalism. So what happened? During medieval period, cities are the launching pad, or so to say, the platform for the development of capitalism. The combination of production and exchange. Try to listen it. The combination of production and exchange gave rise to political and cultural priority to the interest of producers and traders. So what happened? The combination of a production, when they are producing more and more goods, the combination of a production and exchange, automatically, when production is much more, automatically they will exchange it for trade and commerce, gave rise to the political and cultural priority of the interest of producers. So what happened? ଏବେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ସବୁ ମୁଁ ତଳ ଦିନ ମଧ୍ୟ କହିଛି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା the rich people generally they are dominating the society. ଯେତେ political power ତମେ ଦେଖିବ what happened जो ଆମର जो टाटा डालमिया जो पावर ମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି they have the power to even to purchase the whole country. So generally what happened, they are dominating the society. Suppose I will tell about Tata. ହେଲା Tata ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ତ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କଥା କହୁଥିଲି ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ସେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କିଣିକି ନେଇଗଲା. So government has no strength to endure its expenditure. ଯେତେ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ହଉଛି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆର ସେତିକି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେନ୍ଥ ନାହିଁ. You imagine the state of Tata, who has purchased the Indian Airlines. So ଏ ଯୋଉ କଥାଟା କହିଲା automatically it was a political and a cultural change in the outlook. Automatically political power ଟା ତାଙ୍କର ଟିକେ ଅଲଗା ହବ. Okay, so this is all about the political and cultural priority to the interest of producers and the traders. So naturally they are the producers and the traders. ତ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା ଛୋଟିଆ କଥା ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଉଦାହରଣ ଦଉଛି. ତମର ଏଠି ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ତମର ଏଠି ହିନ୍ଦୀ ସ୍ପିକିଂ ବା ବଙ୍ଗାଳୀ ସ୍ପିକିଂ ପିଲା କି ଅଛନ୍ତି ନା ସବୁ ଯାକ ଓଡ଼ିଆ? ଅଙ୍କିତା, hello my dear friend.
All are Odia, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so ଏଇଠି ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା କହୁଛି. ଆମର ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କଣ ହେଇଛି ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଲୁଣ ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟିଆ ଜିନିଷ, ଲୁଣଟା ଗୋଟେ ଅତି ଛୋଟିଆ ଜିନିଷ, ବଟ୍ ଆମ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ଯୋଉ 150 କୋଟି ପପୁଲେସନ ଅଛନ୍ତି all are consuming salt. ହେଲେ ଟାଟା ଗୋଟେ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ ଜିନିଷ କଣ କଲା, ସେ ଗୋଟେ କଣ କହିଲା ନା ଆମେ ଲୁଣ ଭିତରେ ଆମେ ଆଇରନ୍ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ ଛାଡିବା. ତମେ ଚିନ୍ତା କର ଆଇରନ୍ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ ଛାଡିବା ଯାହାଫଳରେ କଣ ହବ, ଆଇରନ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏସେନ୍ସିଆଲ ଫର ହ୍ୟୁମାନ ବଡି. ଏବଂ ଏ ୱେରେ ସେ କଣ କଲା କ୍ରୋର୍ସ ଅଫ ରୁପିଜ ସେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କଣ କଲା ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ଆଦାୟ କଲା. ଏବଂ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ତମେ ସୋସାଇଟି ଦେଖୁଥିବ ଟାଟା ଲୁଣଟା ହଉଛି ହାଏଷ୍ଟ କଷ୍ଟଲି ଥିଙ୍ଗ ଦେନ୍ ଇନ୍ କମ୍ପାରିଜନ ଟୁ ଅଦର ସାଲ୍ସ. ଜାଣିଛ ନା ଏ କଥା? ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ହ୍ୟାଲୋ
Yes, sir.
ହଁ ହେଲେ ଏଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ତମେ ୟେସ୍ ଅର୍ ନୋ କୁହ, ନହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଆଗକୁ ଯାଇପାରୁନି. ତ ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି ମତେ ବେଳେବେଳେ ଶୁଭୁନି ତ ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି
ନାଇଁ sir.
ହେଲା. ତେଣୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା ଦେଖ ନା ମୋଦି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ସମୟରେ ସେ ଗୋଟେ କଲେ ଯେ ଗଙ୍ଗା ପାଣି ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଦିଆଯିବ. ଦେଖ ତମେ ଚିନ୍ତା କର ଗଙ୍ଗା ପାଣିଟା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଦିଆଯିବ। Even ଏବେ ମଧ୍ୟ I am in doubt whether they are giving the water of Gangas or any other water. Anyway, we are purchasing from the postal department. So how they are earning money? Okay, so this is all about the production, and it is changed the political and cultural interest of the producers. So the urban dwellers in medieval West constituted the producers and traders, broke their dependence and usurped power illegitimately on artisans and peasants. So what happened? ଯେତେବେଳେ ମିଡିଏଭାଲ ପିରିୟଡରେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ରଡ୍ୟୁସର୍ସ ଆଉ ଟ୍ରେଡର୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଯଥେଷ୍ଟ ମାନେ ପଇସା ରହିଗଲା, even they couldn't dare to anybody, even they usurped the throne, ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ, ସିଂହାସନକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଅକ୍ତିଆର କଲେ by force as we have the money. So the autonomy of the city allowed rational economic action, free conduct of trade, pursuit of gain, and protected the interest of the producers, was instrumental in the development of work ethic in the western cities. So ଯେତେବେଳେ producers ଯୋଉମାନେ ଆସିଲେ, ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଟ୍ରେଡ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ରହିଲା, ମୋ ପାଖରେ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ ଟା ଅଛି, ତମେ ଚିନ୍ତା କର, ମୁଁ ଯଦି ମାନେ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ ବେଶୀ କରୁଛି, ଏବେ ତମେ ଦେଖିବ ହଳଦୀରାମର ଯୋଉ ଅଛି, ଆମର ହଳଦୀରାମର ଯୋଉ ମିଠା ମିଳୁଛି ବା ଆମର ଯୋଉ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ଯୋଉ ସବୁ ପକେଟରେ ଯୋଉ ପୁଡିଆ ଆସୁଛି, ମାନେ that company is earning crores of rupees. So automatically କଣ ହେଲା, ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ରେଡର କ୍ୟାପାସିଟିଟା ଅର କ୍ୱାଲିଟିଟା ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ସବୁବେଳେ ମେଣ୍ଟେନ ହେଲା। ଓକେ, ଏବଂ ସେଟା ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି କଣ ହେଲା, it developed the work ethic in the western cities. Ethic means morality. ଗୋଟେ ଆମେ କେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ୱାର୍କ ଏଥିକ୍ସ ଗୋଟେ ଡେଭଲପ ହେଲା କଣ ନା, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୁଡେ କମ୍ପାନୀ ବାହାରିଲେ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ ଦେଖିଲେ ହାଉ ୱି ୱିଲ୍ ୱିନ୍ ଦ ହାର୍ଟ ଅଫ ପରଚେଜର୍ସ। ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ କିଣୁଛି, ଆମେ ତାର ହାର୍ଟ ଆଉ କିପରି ୱିନ୍ କରିବା ନା, ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ୱାର୍କ ଏଥିକ୍ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ସେଟା ଡେଭଲପ ହେଲା। ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ଗିଭିଂ ଏନ୍ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଟୁ ୟୁ। ତମେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଜୋତା ପିନ୍ଧୁଛ, ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଇଟ୍?
Yes, sir.
Yes. ଜୋତା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ପିନ୍ଧୁଛେ, ତମେ ଦେଖିବ, ତମେ ଯଦି ବାଟା କମ୍ପାନୀର ଜୋତା କିଣିବ ବା ଉଡଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ର ଜୋତା କିଣିବ ବା କଷ୍ଟଲି ଜୋତା କଥା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି, ଗୋଟେ ସାଧାରଣ କଥା ବାଟା ଜୋତା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି, ବାଟା ଜୋତା ମାନେ ମୋ ଜୀବନରେ ବାଟା ଜୋତା ସେଟା ମୁଁ ଅନ୍ୟ କିଛି ପିନ୍ଧିନି। ଇଭେନ୍ ଆଇ ଡୁ ନଟ୍ ଲାଇକ୍ ଏବାଉଟ୍ ଦ ଉଡଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ। ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ଏତେ ଦୂର ମୁଁ ମାନେ ମୋଟିଭେଟ ହେଇଛି ବାଟା ଜୋତା ଦ୍ୱାରା, ମୁଁ ମାନେ ପିଲା ଦିନରୁ ଏ ଯାଏ ମୋର ଚାଲିଛି।
सर बाटा जूता वुडलैंड जूता मोस्ट पॉपुलर एंड बहुत स्ट्रांग।
ହଁ, ନାଇଁ ମୁଁ କହିବା କଥା କଣ ହେଲା, ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ କୋଡ ଆଇଡିଆ ମୁଁ କଣ କହୁଛି, ଷ୍ଟ୍ରଙ୍ଗ ଜୋତା ତ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ସେଇଟା, କିନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି କଣ, ଆମେ ଜୋତା ଦୋକାନକୁ ଯିବା, ଯଦି ବାଟା ଜୋତାରେ ସେଠି 3095 ଟଙ୍କା ଲେଖାଯାଇଛି ବା 3099 ଲେଖାଯାଇଛି, ଆମେ ଏଟେ ଟାଇମ ତାକୁ କଣ କରିବା ନା, ଆମେ 500 ଟଙ୍କିଆ 10ଟା କାଢୁଛେ ବା ତାକୁ 3095 ବା 99 ଟଙ୍କା ତାକୁ ଦେଇ ଦଉଛେ ୱିଥଆଉଟ୍ ଏନି ବାର୍ଗେନିଂ। ହେଲେ ଆମେ କଣ ଦେଖୁଛେ ଯେ ବାଟା ଜୋତାର ଷ୍ଟିକରଟା ସେଟା ଅଛି କି ନାହିଁ। ହ୍ୱାଟ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ଟେଲିଂ, ଟ୍ରାଇ ଟୁ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ। ବାଟା ଜୋତାର ଯଦି ଷ୍ଟିକରଟା ଅଛି, ଆମକୁ କିଛି there is no question of bargaining, ଏବଂ ସେ ଜୋତାଟାର ଯଦି ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟିକରଟା ବାହାର କରିଦେଇକି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟିକରଟେ ମାରିଦେବା, ତାହେଲେ କଣ ହବ, ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି we will bargain about that shoe। ସେଟା ହଉଛି ନା ନାହିଁ?
यस सर।
ହଉଛି ନା ନାହିଁ ସେ କଥାଟା?
यस सर।
Yes, sir. କାହିଁକି ସେଟା ହଉଛି ନା, it is the characteristics of ବାଟା। ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ଇଏ ଥିଲେ ଅଟଳଜୀ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ରାଇମ ମିନିଷ୍ଟର ଥିଲେ, ସେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଅପୋଜିସନ ପାର୍ଟି ହେଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ, ଇନ୍ଦିରା ଗାନ୍ଧୀ ପିରିୟଡ କଥା କହୁଛି ନା, ଫରେନ ପଲିସି ପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ହିଁ ଡକାଯିବ, ସିଏ ହିଁ ଯିବେ। ସୋ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଦ ପର୍ସନାଲିଟି ଅଫ ଅଟଳଜୀ। ସୋ ଏଇଟା କଥା ହେଲା କଣ ନା, ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା କଣ, ନା ଯୋଉ ୱାର୍କ ଏଥିକ୍ସ କଥା କୁହାଗଲା, ଆମେ ସୋସାଇଟିରେ ଦେଖୁଛେ ଯେ ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛେ କାହାକୁ ପଇସା ଦେଲେ ଆମର ପଇସାଟା ବୁଡିବ ନାହିଁ, and we will get the utmost satisfaction. That is known as a work ethics. Okay, ତାହେଲେ ସେଇଟା କଣ ହେଇଛି ମିଡିଏଭାଲ ପିରିୟଡରେ କଣ ହେଲା ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି work ethics developed among the traders. Did you understand? I think, my dear friend.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what happened? Work ethics. Then it is the development of work ethics in medieval Western cities. So Max Weber argued that an urban community was a settlement displaying relative predominance of trade commercial relations and having fortification, a market, a court of its own, partly autonomous law and etc. So what happened? ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ମିଡିଏଭାଲ କଥା ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲା ସେଟା କଣ ହେଇଛି ନା ସେଇଟା ଆମେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପାଇବା ନା ଟ୍ରେଡ ରିଲେସନ୍ସ, ଓକେ, ଟ୍ରେଡ ରିଲେସନ୍ସ having fortifications means ଚାରିଆଡେ ଦୁର୍ଗ ଥିବ, ଏ ମାର୍କେଟ ଗୋଟେ ମାର୍କେଟ ଥିବ, ଗୋଟେ କୋର୍ଟ ଥିବ, ଏ କୋର୍ଟ ଅଫ ଇଟ୍ସ ଓନ୍, ନିଜର ଗୋଟେ କୋର୍ଟ ଥିବ, and partly autonomous, partly that means ସାମୟିକ ଭାବେ it is its own law and etc. ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଅଟୋନୋମସ କଲେଜ ଦେଖୁଛେ ସେମିତି ଏଇଟା ଅଛି partly autonomous and it has its own law etc. So ଏଇଟା କହିବାର କଥା ହେଲା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମ ପାଖରେ ଗୁଡାଏ ପଇସା ହେଇଯାଉଛି ଆମେ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ we are developing our work ethics, we are developing our own law, we are developing our own culture, we are developing our own society also. ତମେ ଏବେ ଯିବ ଟାଟାରେ ତମେ ଦେଖିବ ତାଙ୍କର ନିଜର କଲଚର, ଇଭେନ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲାଟେ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ସର୍ଭିସ ପାଇଁ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଫର୍ଜରୀ କରି ସାର୍ଟିଫିକେଟ ଆଣିଦେଲା ବା ଯୋଉ ପିଲାଟା ସେମାନେ ଜଏନ କରିବେ ଏନି ସାର୍ଟିଫିକେଟ ସିଏ ଦେଲା ତାକୁ ସେମାନେ ବାରମ୍ବାର ତାକୁ ଯାଞ୍ଚ କରିବେ ଏବଂ ଯଦି ଯାଞ୍ଚରେ ଯଦି ପ୍ରୁଭ ହେଇଗଲା ସେ ପିଲାଟା କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଏପଟ ସେପଟ କରିକି ସାର୍ଟିଫିକେଟ ଧରି ଅଛି ତାହେଲେ ଏଣ୍ଟାୟାର ଲାଇଫରେ ସେ ଆଉ ଟାଟା କମ୍ପାନୀରେ ଯୋଗ ଦେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ. ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ନୋନ୍ ଏଜ୍ ଇଟ୍ସ ଏଥିକ୍ସ. Did you understand my point? So ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏ ଯୋଉ ମିଡିଏଭାଲ ଟାଉନରେ ମିଡିଏଭାଲ ପିରିୟଡରେ କଣ ହେଲା ନା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଟ୍ରେଡ ଆଣ୍ଡ କମର୍ସ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଡେଭଲପ ହେଇ ପଳେଇଗଲା automatically it has its own fortifications, its own market, its court of its own and partly autonomous law and all these things. This was an ideal construction which was excessively Eurocentric. That means this culture, how it is developed, it is known as Eurocentric. Try to underline the word. That means it is a European culture. So this type of a culture, Eurocentric culture, it is gradually developed during the medieval period. Is there any doubt, my dear friend? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No. Then the role of a medieval cities from feudalism to capitalism was a component of social evolution. So କଣ ହେଇଛି ଗୋଟେ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ କଥା ତମକୁ ମୁଁ ଏକଥା କହିଛି କି ମୁଁ କହିପାରୁନି କୋଉଟେ କାହାକୁ ଗୋଟେ କହିଥିଲି ଯେ ମିଡିଏଭାଲ ପିରିୟଡରେ ଫ୍ୟୁଡାଲିଜମ ୱାଜ ଡେଭଲପଡ. ଫ୍ୟୁଡାଲିଜମ ଅର୍ଥ ହେଲା ଜମିଦାରୀ ପ୍ରଥା. ଏ ଯୋଉ ରଜାମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଥିଲେ medieval period ବା ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ancient period ଯୋଉ ରାଜାମାନେ ଥିଲେ during the time of medieval period the kings and the monarchs or so to say the rulers gradually they became weakened. ଦୁର୍ବଳ ହେଇଗଲେ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ନା ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଗୁଡାଏ ଜମିଦାର ରହିଲେ ଏ ଜମିଦାର ମାନଙ୍କୁ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ତାଙ୍କର ଏଣ୍ଟାୟାର ଜମି ଦେଇଦେଲେ ଏବଂ ଏ ଯୋଉ ଜମିଦାର ମାନେ ରହିଲେ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଗୁଡାଏ ଚାଷୀ ଲୋକ ରହିଲେ ଯୋଉମାନେ କି ତାଙ୍କୁ ୱାର ସମୟରେ ଯୁଦ୍ଧରେ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିବେ ଏବଂ ଅନ୍ୟ ସମୟରେ ଜମିରେ ଚାଷ କରିକିରି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଧାନ ବା କୃଷି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଦେଇପାରିବେ. So it is the feudalism ଉପରେ ଗୁଡାଏ କଥା ଅଛି but it is the totality of the idea about feudalism. ହେଲେ ଏ ଯୋଉ feudalism ହେଲା ହେଲେ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି କଣ ହେଲା ତମେ ଚିନ୍ତା କର ଏ ଯୋଉ feudalism ଟା ଡେଭଲପ ହେଇ ଗଲା ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ଇଟ୍ କନସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରେଡ the wealth and capital. ଏମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ଏ ଜମିଦାର ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କଣ ରହିଲା ନା ପୁରାପୁରି ଟଙ୍କା ଯାକ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ମହଜୁଦ ହେଇକି ରହିଲା ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ଦେ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ଦେ ଟ୍ରାଇଡ୍ ମାନେ ଟୁ ରୁଲ ହୋଲ ଓଭର ଦ country or whole over the state. ଏ ଯୋଉ feudal lords ମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ସେମାନେ କଣ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଶାସନ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିଥିଲେ. So the role of a medieval cities from feudalism to capitalism was a component of a social evolution. So how society was gradually धीरे जो चेंज ही गला इवोल्यूशन धीरे इटा आसला. हेनरी पिने argues that, try to underline the word Henry Pinne, it will come in the question also. So Henry Pinne argues that the medieval cities and long distance trade is the engines of social change, and with the commercial revival in Western Europe from 11th century on the country started orienting towns towards towns, and a growth of markets had exercised the disintegration of feudalism. So gradually କଣ ହେଲା ଏମାନେ କଣ କଲେ feudalism period ରେ or medieval period ରେ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ନା ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ରେଡ ଚାଲିଥିଲା ଟ୍ରେଡ ଏଣ୍ଡ କମର୍ସ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ନା ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ଦେଶ ସହିତ ସେମାନେ ବ୍ୟବସାୟ ବାଣିଜ୍ୟ ସମ୍ପର୍କ ରଖିଲେ. So automatically କଣ ହେଲା there was a change of cultural development, there was a change of society, there was a change of political and economic life. So ये जो जिनिस ହେଲା gradually it led to the decline of feudalism. I think you are clear now.
Yes, sir.
ହେଲା anything
Sir.
clear you are clear now. ହେଲା ସେମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୋ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ସହିତ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଟ୍ରେଡ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ କମର୍ସ ଯୋଉ ଚାଲିଲା ଅଟୋମେଟିକଲି କଣ ହେଲା there was a decline of feudalism and the society was gradually changed, gradually developed. According to Mauri Dove, medieval towns acted as a magnet and exploited rural population to towns. So he opined that it was just like a magnet and it attracted the people from rural to towns. Historians realized that there were different types of medieval towns that emerged in the West, and they were not of the same economic and political value. And so what happened? ନା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୁଡାଏ ମିଡିଏଭାଲ ପିରିୟଡରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୁଡାଏ ଟାଉନ ବା ସିଟିଜ ବା ଅର୍ବାନ ସେଣ୍ଟର୍ସ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଡେଭଲପ ହେଲା the most interesting thing is that it was not equal at all, and all are different from each other in socio-economic, religious and political sphere. You see how it is interesting. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ପିରିୟଡ ଭିତରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଡେଭଲପ ହଉଛି ତାଙ୍କର କଣ ହଉଛି ସବୁ ଯାକ ଜିନିଷ ଧୀରେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଯାଉଛି. Henry Pinne identified two different categories of medieval towns. First, towns of liege type, then famous type. So we will see what is liege type and famous type. Try to understand these two technical words. So he has divided the towns into two categories: towns of liege and towns of famous. The liege type of town was primarily political or seat of a bishop, where main people were ecclesiastical gentry, administrators, and servants, providing them with financial goods. So what happened? The towns of liege type, where it was practically so to say, it was a religious center, where the bishop was living there, and all are assisting to them, just like they are the servants of that region and providing them with the financial goods. It is all about the towns of liege. where ecclesiastical or religious affairs were going on. Okay, any doubt? Any doubt? Towns of league and time and premise type. What happened? The premise type of a city was primarily an economic unity which was ruled by wealthy oligarchy consisting of rich merchants and financial families. So what happened? Try to understand these two technical words. One is towns of league and another is premise type. So in towns of league, religious or ecclesiastical system was going on where the Pope is all in all. But in premise type of town where economical unity or was going on, or so to say, wealthy and rich persons or the capitalist persons, those who were remaining in premise type. I think you are clear. Towns of league and
Yes,
premise
sir.
type. Huh? No doubt, Biswajit. Okay. Any doubt? You can ask me without any hesitation. Okay. So there are two types of towns. One is the towns of league and another is the premise type. So what happened? The inhabitants of such cities lived by trade evolved as the new anti-feudal ruling class. So what happened? These two types of towns, they were anti-feudal ruling class, and they didn't like the feudatory rules. Okay, so this is all about the towns of league and premise type. जो कथा तुमको मु आगुरु कहथिली जो सेतेबेले जो नुआ नुआ टाउन जो डेवलप हैला, how they are different from each other, from religious, social, political, economical, everything is gradually they are different from each other. So next another writer, Fernand Braudel. There were three basic types of towns in the course of the evolution. So you see, he has given another opinion that he has divided. There were three types of towns. So what is? First is open towns, like Greek and Rome, and power remained with the agrarian world. So what happened? Open towns. First asla open towns, just like Greek and Rome. Just 1 minute. Fernand Braudel, he has distinguished the towns into three parts. First is open towns, just like Greek and Rome. What happened? The power remained with the agrarian world. That means those who are cultivating the land, automatically power remains with them. Suppose we can say about the peasants, or we can say about the zamindaras, those who are cultivating the land, or those who are permitting to others to cultivate the land, that is known as open towns. Second is closed towns. That means self-sufficient and closed in every sense. So you see, it is very interesting. Closed in every sense. That means during the medieval period, what happened? Medieval period, what happened? Now, ancient period, Europe ancient period, they patronized the Greek and Roman culture. It's art, architecture, sculpture, and everything. But during medieval period, it was a closed with only the Christian text. The popes were there. They only taught about the Christianity, nothing else. About the modern period asila, they gave importance to the Greek and Roman literature. That's why the modern period is known as the Renaissance in the European history. So this is all about the ancient, medieval, and modern period. So closed towns means self-sufficient and closed in every sense. So it didn't like to invite knowledge from other aspect. So ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ଚର୍ଚ୍ଚ ହଉଛି all in all, Jesus Christ ହଉଛନ୍ତି all in all, and we will teach or we will be taught only the Christian principles. So this was their motto. So it was a closed in every sense. And the Pope and Bishop, they didn't like to invite on the other things to their world or to their society. So one is the open towns and the second is the closed towns. Then third is the subject towns. Subjected by prince and a state. Early modern towns like Florence subjected by Medics and Paris by Bourbon rulers. So what happened? Subject towns means subjected by prince and state. Prince means so the ruler, where the state is there. So it is known as the subject towns. So now we have discussed about three towns. One is open towns, where it is very open and the peasants were all in all. And we have seen also the closed towns, and we have also discussed about the subject towns where state is there. Okay, and the ruler is there. So he has divided the towns into three parts. So Fernand Braudel agrees that the merchants, the functions of political, religious, and economic control and the craft activities would go over to the south side. So according to Fernand Braudel, he agrees that he has the opinion that the merchants, the functions of political, religious, and economic control, and the craft activities. Craft activities means ଧନ୍ୟ ମୁଁ ଭଲ ମୋ ହାତରେ ଭଲ କେତେଗୁଡେ ଜିନିଷ କାମ ହେଇପାରୁଛି, କଣ ସୁଖ ଜିନିଷ କିଛି ହେଇପାରୁଛି, ଧନ୍ୟ ଏବେ ପିପିଲିରେ ଯୋଉ କାରୁକାର୍ଯ୍ୟ, ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏ କ୍ରାଫ୍ଟ ଆକ୍ଟିଭିଟି। ଓକେ, ଏ ଯୋଉ କାମ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ହଉଛି gradually these activities gradually entered into the towns. The complete span of these was seen only in big towns and not in small towns. So a ସବୁ ଯାକ socio political, economic, religious and craft activities we will see or we will find it in the big towns and not in small towns. The main reason is that in big towns automatically ଏବେ ତମେ ଦେଖିବ ଗୋଟେ ବଡ ବଡ ସହରକୁ ଲୋକେ କାହିଁକି ପଳେଇ ଯାନ୍ତି ନା, ବଡ ବଡ ସହରକୁ ପଳେଇଗଲେ ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ଲମ୍ ଏରିଆରେ ରହିଲେ, ତାଙ୍କୁ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ କିଛି ପଡିଲା ନାହିଁ, ଖାଲି ଜଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ କରେଣ୍ଟ ଆଣିବେ, ତାଙ୍କୁ ସେମାନେ ଚଳିଯିବେ, ଘର କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଦି ଖଣ୍ଡ ଇଟା ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ଉଠେଇଦେଲେ ସେମାନେ ସେଠି ରହିଯିବେ, ଏବଂ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ଅଛି ଲାଇକ୍ କ୍ରାଫ୍ଟ ଆକ୍ଟିଭିଟିଜ, ସେମାନେ କଣ କରିବେ, ତାକୁ ନିଜ ହାତରେ ତିଆରି କରିକି ତାଙ୍କୁ ବିକିଦେବେ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଟାଉନରେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ସେମାନେ ବିକି ପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ। Moreover, social trends with industrial capitalism led to the emergence of panel cities for medieval period. So another thing is that the industrialization. So it is also a symbol of trade and commerce. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଆଲାଇଜେସନ ହେଇଗଲା, ତମକୁ ମୁଁ କାଲକାଟା କଥା କହୁଥିଲି, କାଲକାଟାରେ ଗୋଟେ ସିଟି ବୋଲି ଜିନିଷ କିଛି ନଥିଲା, ଏବଂ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲୋକମାନେ ସେଠି ଗଲେ କାମ କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ସେମାନେ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଘର କରିକି ରହିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହିଁଲେ। So it led to the emergence of a town with a fixed pattern of policing, street plans, space for stores, transport lines, segregated neighborhoods, so configurations of political power, specific rules of health and hygiene care, etc. So ସେଠି କଣ ହେଲା ନା, ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଟାଉନକୁ ପଳେଇଗଲେ ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ସିଟି ପ୍ଲାନିଂ ୱାଜ ଦେयर, house planning was there, trade and commerce is there, political life is there, socio-economic life is there, religious life is there. So they gave also importance to health and hygiene. So this is all about the plans or planning of a town. So, specific rules to health and hygiene care, they have given also importance. Historical geographers argue that meaning of power and domination are inscribed into urban space. So what happened? Those who are the historical geographers, they argue that the meaning of power and domination are inscribed into the urban sense. So the power automatically it remained the power remained in the hands of the urban people. So gradually the urban centers it changed a lot. Michael Foucault analyzed power in society could be achieved through an analysis of a control over space. So another person who has described what is the power in the society. So he could be achieved through an analysis of control over space. ତା ଅର୍ଥ ଯାହାର ଯେତିକି ସ୍ପେସରେ ବା ଏରିଆରେ ଯାହାର ଯେତିକି କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ଅଛି ଅଟୋମେଟିକଲି ହି ବିକେମ୍ ପାୱାରଫୁଲ। ତମେ ଏବେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଦେଖିବ ତମେ ଯୋଉ ଗାଁରେ ରହୁଛ ସେ ଗାଁ ଯଦି ତମର ଯଦି ଘର ଛଡା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ 50-100 ହାତ କି 200 ହାତ କି 500 ହାତ କି 1000 ହାତ ଅଛି ଅଟୋମେଟିକଲି one will be powerful. So that is known as a space. Historians now make a distinction between private and public space. So now they have a distinction between two words. What is the private and another is the public space. Scared and profane, commercial and ceremonial space, shared and divided space, male and female space, individual and institutional space. So you see how they divided different kinds of space. It is most interesting, and a question will also come on space. You see, so space जो बर्तमान जो कथा मु कहली जो जार जतिकी स्पेस अछि जार जतिकी एरिया अछि ऑटोमेटिकली ही बिकेम अ पावरफुल। सपोज भुवनेश्वर रे मोर गोटे 100 हातर गोटे जागा अछि automatically I will be powerful and so many persons will come to me in order to purchase that space or in order to purchase that area. So what happened? So eti kon hala na historians now make a distinction between private and public space. You see, one is the private space and another is the public space. Public space means government space. So sacred and profane. Profane means not sacred. Sacred means धन्य गोटे मंदिर अछि. It is a sacred space. Hala, गोटे ना sacred and profane. Profane means not secular. Then another is commercial and another is ceremonial. ଗୋଟେ commercial space ଅଛି. We are it was given for trade and commerce, and another place is there ceremonial space जो कथा कि आमे देखुचे मंदिर रे व्रत घर बाहाघर ए सब हेई परुछ. That is known as a ceremonial space. Then shared and divided space. So shared means आम भितरे आम 5 जन लोक अछे आम भितरे एटा शेयर हेकरी अछि. Out space अछि it was divided between brothers. So male and female space. So one is dominated by male and another is dominated by female. So individual and institutional space. It is clear. So this is all about the different kinds of space where my Foucault has analyzed. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me, my dear friends.
Sir, commercial means कौन कहले?
Also. गोटे आसला ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स जोटे व्यवसाय वाणिज्य ही पाउछ बुझले नहीं कमर्शियल एंड सेरेमोनियल ए दीटा कथा हम पचाउछो देखो गोटे जिनिस होची गोटे कल्याण मंडप अछि गोटे मंदिर रे कल्याण मंडप अछि ଏବଂ ଯଦି ସେଇଠି ବ୍ରତଘର ବା ବାହାଘର କରାହଉଛି ଦେ ଆର୍ ଟେକିଂ ଏ ଫ୍ୟୁ ମନି in order to maintain that in order to maintain it ହେଲା ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଆମର ସେରିମୋନିଆଲ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା କମର୍ସିଆଲ ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକର ଗୋଟେ କମର୍ସିଆଲ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ଅଛି ଏବଂ ସେଇଟା କଣ ଅଛି ନା ସେ କଲ୍ୟାଣୀ ମଣ୍ଡପରେ ଆମେ 2 ଲକ୍ଷ ବାନ୍ଧିଲେ ହିଁ ସେମାନେ ଆମକୁ ଭୋଜି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏଲାଉ ଦେବେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଏମିତି ମଧ୍ୟ ଜାଗା ଅଛି ଓକେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଏମିତି ମଧ୍ୟ ଜାଗା ଅଛି ଯେ they will not take a single pie from you କିନ୍ତୁ ଲୋକେ ଅଛନ୍ତି they are booking the commercial places ଓକେ ଯୋଉଠି ଖାଲି ବାଣିଜ୍ୟ ହେଇପାରିବ ବୁଝିଲେ ନା କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ରହିଲା ହ୍ୟାଲୋ
No, sir. Clear, clear.
clear okay so this is all about the different kinds of space it is space rauchi most important ଜିନିଷ ଏବଂ try to underline these points space ଉପରେ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ରୂପେ question ଆସିବ and you have to highlight the different kinds of space so I do not repeat it again okay so the urban historians study the process of urbanization has to focus on population social organization physical environment and technology so what happened so I have already discussed with you what is urbanism and what is urbanization urbanization means the flow of population how gradually the people came to one place and they are congregated in a particular area or place is known as a urban center. Okay, so what happened? The urban historians study the process of urbanization, how urbanization gradually developing and they are focusing on its population. ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ପପୁଲେସନ ଯାହା ଥିଲା ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଦେଖିବ ମୋର ଦେନ୍ 100 ଟାଇମ୍ସ ଡେଭଲପ ହେଇଗଲାଣି ଓକେ ଯାହା ଥିଲା ଏବେ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କହୁଥିଲି ଯୋଉ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଯାଇଥିଲି ମୁଁ ଏବେ ମୋ ଗାଡି ଧରିକି ଯାଇଥିଲି କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଏତେ ସଫୋକେସନ ଫିଲ୍ କଲି ସେଠି ଗାଡି ଭିତରେ ଚଲେଇବା ପାଇଁ କାହିଁକି ଆମ ଯୋଉ ଏରିଆରେ ଅଛୁ ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ଟୋଟାଲି କ୍ଲିନ୍ ଏରିଆ ଓକେ ହେଲେ ଏଇଟା କଣ ହଉଛି ଯୋଉ ଡେଭଲପ ହେଇ ଯାଉଛି କୋଉଥିରେ ଡେଭଲପ ହଉଛି ନା ସୋସିଆଲ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ physical environment, technology, everything in every sphere gradually it is changing. So this change is known as evolution of the urban centers or the cities. So according to Stanley K. Sulov, that for understanding urbanization process, we should analyze size of population, concentration, rural migration patterns, fertility, mortality, ration, rate of literacy, etc. So whenever we are going to study about the urbanization, so we have to keep eye on every sphere, how the people how and why the people came from rural to urban, what is the literacy rate, what is the mortality rate, how the education system is going on. In everything we have to analyze. Besides, one should also analyze the nature of communication, modes of transportation, informational network, natural and social organization, nature of status and power of groups within the urban communities. That means everything we have to analyze. ତମକୁ ଯୋଉ କଥା ମୁଁ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର କହୁଥିଲି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଯେ ପାଣି ଅଛି ବଟ୍ ବର୍ଷା ଦିନ ଆସିଲେ ପିଲାମାନେ ସେଠି ଭାସିକି ପଳେଇ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି. You see how the pathetic is. But we are telling that it is the capital of one state. Okay, so we have to consider from all the points of view, then we will call it is an urban center. Okay, then this is all about the approaches to the study of medieval towns or different historians. They have given different opinions. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Any doubt, my dear friends?
sir. No, sir.
No doubt. So now we'll see perceptions on medieval Indian cities. Perception, you see, the very word perceive, how we are perceiving. Okay. ଆମେ ଦେଖ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ପେଲଟେ ଆସୁଛି, we are perceiving. Try to understand its meaning. Perceiving or perceptions on medieval Indian cities. What we are perceiving. Okay. So Muhammad Habib opinion on medieval Indian cities initiated by conquest of Muhammad Ghori. So he has given a beautiful narration how the medieval towns emerged. So he has given one thing that it came from the time of Muhammad Ghori. Through labor process followed by an urban revolution. Through labor process, you see the very word labor process followed by an urban revolution. So you see how it is interesting. Through labor process, so it was followed by urban revolution, or the evolution took place during the medieval period. So now we'll analyze what is the labor process. These are the very technical words and you have to use it. The law caste, the low caste Indian workers. I have told you about the labor process. The low caste Indian workers who remain outside the towns. Try to understand. The low caste Indian workers who remain outside the towns entered the towns along with the forces of Muhammad Ghori as a fighting force. You see, ଯେତେବେଳେ ମହମ୍ମଦ ଘୋରି ଆସିଲେ ଭାରତକୁ, ସେ କଣ ଏତେ ଲୋକ ଧରିକି ଆସିଥିଲେ ସୈନ୍ୟ ସାମନ୍ତ? କିଛି ଆଣିନଥିଲେ। ତେଣୁ ସିଏ କଣ କଲେ, ଏ ଯୋଉ ଲେବର କ୍ଲାସ ପିପଲ ମାନେ ଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସିଏ କଣ କଲେ, ଡାକିକି ଆଣିକିରି ସେ ତାଙ୍କ ସୈନ୍ୟ ଦଳରେ ମିଶେଇଲେ ଏବଂ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଖାଇବା ପିଇବାକୁ ଦେଲେ ଏବଂ ତାଙ୍କୁ କିଛି କିଛି ପଇସା ଦେଲେ in order to work there. You see. Okay, ଏବେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଏବେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଇଲେକ୍ସନ ପ୍ରଚାର ଚାଲିଛି, ତମେ ଭାବୁଛ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ସମସ୍ତେ କଣ, ଯୋଉମାନେ ଯୋଉ ମିଟିଂଟା ହଉଛି ସମସ୍ତେ କଣ ଦଳୀୟ କର୍ମୀ ଥାନ୍ତି? କିଏ ମଧ୍ୟ ନଥାନ୍ତି। ଏବଂ ବଡ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ କଥା ଦେଖୁଛି ମୁଁ ଯେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଗରିବ ଲୋକ ଥାନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ମୌକା ସମୟ ଆସିଲା, ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ ବିଜେଡି ମିଟିଂ ହବ, ତାଙ୍କୁ 30 ଟଙ୍କା ଦିଆହବ, ସେ ବିଜେଡି ମିଟିଂ ଏଣ୍ଟର କରିବେ, ସେଠି ଖାଇବେ ପିଇବେ ଯିବେ। ତା ପରଦିନ କଂଗ୍ରେସ ମିଟିଂ ହବ, ସେଠି ମଧ୍ୟ ଯିବେ, 30 ଟଙ୍କା ତାଙ୍କୁ ଦିଆଯିବ, ଖାଇବେ ପିଇବେ ଯିବେ। ସୋ such type of ମାନେ ଷ୍ଟାଇଲ now it is maintaining. ଏବଂ ତମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦେଖ ଯୋଉ ମହମ୍ମଦ ଘୋରିଙ୍କ ସମୟରେ କେମିତି ହେଲା ଯେ ଲେବର ଫୋର୍ସ ସେମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଥିଲେ, those who are remaining outside the city or the urban centers, they attracted and came and joined with the hands of Muhammad Ghori. The low caste Indian workers who remained outside the towns entered the towns along with the forces of Muhammad Ghori as a fighting force. It removed all kinds of discrimination against city workers. You see, the most interesting thing. ହେଲେ ମହମ୍ମଦ ଘୋରି ସେ କଣ ଜାଣିଥିଲେ ଯେ ଇଏ ଲୋ କାଷ୍ଟ ଲୋକ କି ସେ ହାଇ କାଷ୍ଟ ଲୋକ, ସେ କଣ ଜାଣିଥିଲେ କି? ସେ ଜାଣିନାହାନ୍ତି। ଯୋଉମାନେ ଆସିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ସୈନ୍ୟ ଦଳରେ ସେମାନେ ମିଶିଲେ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ, ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ମିଶିକିରି ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଖାଇଲେ ପିଇଲେ ଏବଂ ପଇସା ନେଲେ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ମଧ୍ୟ କାମ କଲେ। So the religion of Islam acted as magnet to city workers like elephant drivers or butchers, weavers, etc. You see, ହେଲେ ଏ ଯୋଉ Islam religion, how it worked like a magnet and it attracted to the labor force. The labor force means the elephant drivers, ଯୋଉମାନେ ହାତୀର ଡ୍ରାଇଭର ଥିଲେ, ମହନ୍ତ ହେଲା। ହାତୀର ମହନ୍ତ ମାନେ ହାତୀକୁ ତ ପୋଷିବାଟା କଷ୍ଟ, ହାତୀର ମହନ୍ତକୁ ଆହୁରି ପୋଷିବ ହେଲା। workers like elephant drivers, then butchers, those who are selling the meat, okay, then weavers community, ସେତେବେଳେ ସେ ୱିଭର୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କର ଅବସ୍ଥା ଏତେ ଦୂର ଶୋଚନୀୟ ହେଇଗଲା ଆଫ୍ଟର ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଆଲାଇଜେସନ ଦେ ଡିଡଣ୍ଟ ଗେଟ୍ ଇଭେନ୍ ଫୁଡ ଆଲସୋ so the condition of the weavers is totally it was so poor even they didn't get food it gave them an upward social mobility so ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ କଣ ହେଲା ଏ ଯୋଉ ୱାର୍କିଂ ଫୋର୍ସ ମହାମତକୁ ଘୋରିଗଲେ କଣ ହେଲା ନା ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେନ୍ଥ ଏବଂ ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟାମିନା ଗୋଟେ ଏମାନଙ୍କର ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲା the new regime recruited fighting force out of the working class in the towns ହେଲେ ଏ ଯୋଉ ନ୍ୟୁ ରେଜିମ୍ ଆସିଲା ମହମ୍ମଦ ଘୋରୀଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଶାସନ ଆସିଲା ସେମାନଙ୍କର କଣ ଥିଲା ନା ସେମାନେ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ଗୋଟେ ୱାର୍କିଂ ଫୋର୍ସ ବା ଫାଇଟିଂ ଫୋର୍ସ ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ଆସନ୍ତୁ ମୋ ସହିତ କାମ କରନ୍ତୁ ଏବଂ ଏ ଲୋକମାନେ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ଯେ ଆମକୁ ଯଦି କିଛି କିଛି ପଇସା ମିଳିବ ବା ଖାଇବାକୁ ମିଳିବ we will go and work there so how these combined things worked out so automatically କଣ ହେଲା ନା ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ସୋସାଇଟି ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲା so the new regime recruited fighting force out of the working class of the towns they drew their military force workers from karakhanas artisans personal servants musicians dancing girls etc from the working class so what happened ye jo Muhammad Ghori thile even they purchased the dancing girls from the working class of people you see ତାଙ୍କର କାରଖାନା ପାଇଁ ଦରକାର ଲୋକ ସେମାନେ ସେଠୁ ନେଇଗଲେ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ପର୍ସନାଲ ସର୍ଭେଣ୍ଟ ପାଇଁ ଦରକାର ସେଇ ୱାର୍କିଂ କ୍ଲାସ ଫୋର୍ସ ନେଲେ ଧନୀ ଲୋକମାନେ ସେଠି କଣ ଯିବେ କି ତେଣୁ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ନା ଏ ଯୋଉ ୱାର୍କିଂ କ୍ଲାସ ବା ୱାର୍କିଂ ଫୋର୍ସ ବା ଲେବର ଫୋର୍ସ ଯୋଉ ଲୋକମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଥିଲେ ଲେବର ର ଲୋକମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଥିଲେ ସେଠୁ କଣ କଲେ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ନା এই ফোর্সটাକୁ এই লেবর ফোর্সটাକୁ ମହମ୍ମଦ ଘୋରୀ କଣ କଲେ ପ୍ରଥମ ଥର ପାଇଁ ସେ ୟୁଟିଲାଇଜ କଲେ so if you have any doubt you can ask me any doubt my dear friend
ନାଇଁ sir ବୁଝିହେଲା
so you see the arrival of Muhammad Ghori what is the impact of the arrival of Muhammad Ghori in Indian socio-political and religious life so now we see but according to Irfan Habib what Irfan Habib has described the expansion of urban economy with increase in the number and size of towns growth in craft production and commerce during the 13th and 14th centuries this was due to the changes or technology for making paper textiles and buildings flow of gold and silver for minting coins to promote trade and formation of a new ruling class so Irfan Habib do you know the name of Irfan Habib my dear friends Irfan Habib
No, sir.
He is a great historian who was in Aligarh Muslim University still he is living he is more than 80 years old so he was a great historian so what he has told the expansion of urban economy how the urban economy expanded the expansion of urban economy with the increase in the number and size of towns so increase of the number and the increase in the number means the increase of the population and gradually the size of the towns or the urban centers also increasing ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ପ୍ରଥମେ ଯାହା ଥିଲା ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଏହା ଖୋର୍ଦ୍ଧାକୁ ସେପଟେ କଟକକୁ ଏପଟେ ପୁରୀକୁ ଲାଗିବା ପାଇଁ ସେ ବସିଲାଣି so gradually the population is increasing the size is also increasing then the growth in craft production so craft production is also ମାନେ ହାତ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଯୋଉ କାମ କରାଯାଉଛି growth in craft production and commerce ହେଲା ଯୋଉଟା କି trade and commerce during 13th and 14th centuries this was due to the changes and technology for making paper textiles buildings flow of gold and silver for minting coins to promote trade and formation of a new ruling class. So a गुड़ा जो है trade and commerce पढ़े असला then textiles, different kinds of textiles, different kinds of buildings. So this is naturally it has a great impact on the urban centers or in the cities. On the other hand, scholars like B.D. Chattopadhyay and R. Champak Lakshmi opine that the origins of medieval Indian towns back to the 9th century onwards. So you see, Irfan Habib, he has given importance to 13th and 14th century, but here B.D. Chattopadhyay and Champak Lakshmi, they opinion that the origin of the medieval towns, it can go to the 19th century to onwards. B.D. Chattopadhyay estimates that 20 towns in Gujarat and 131 in Rajasthan and 78 in Karnataka during 11th century and 70 towns in Andhra during the period between 1000 to 1336. So these towns, even they have estimated what is the number of towns, and they have estimated these towns became the urban centers from 1000 to 1336. B. Champakalakshmi, he opined South Indian towns were varying in size. So he has made a proper study on the South Indian towns, were varying in size and nature in Chola territory. So during Chola territory, what happened? It was varying in size and nature of the Chola territory. Also, the Chola urban centers also differ from one to another. At that time, mercantile towns, royal towns, you see, he has given a beautiful term that is the mercantile towns. That mercantile town means where trade and commerce is, where trade and commerce furiously going on. At that time, mercantile towns, royal towns means the aristocratic persons or those who were living there. Suppose we can tell Delhi, the royal town. Then ceremonial come religious towns. We can call ceremonial come religious towns like Puri. Okay, of the Cholas and militarized and fortified towns of Udayanagara kingdom. So another is a military and fortified. से भितर केवल सैन्य सामंत मान रहिबे एवं सेरा गोटे विराट दुर्ग भितर रहिबो of the Vijayanagara kingdom. So this is all about the different kinds of towns. So my dear friends, try to understand or try to remember these particular technical words like mercantile towns, royal towns, ceremonial religious towns, then military and fortified towns. So these are the important towns of the southern period. Then another person, Siran Musbi. जानते पहले ये क्या सिरमन मुस्बी सिरन मुस्बी सुनचो नांडा hello my dear friend
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, try to underline these important historians. Salman Musbi, who is actually eminent economist, but later he came to history, and she is now a big historian. Okay, a giant historian, so to say, and I have seen her also, who is now working in Aligarh Muslim University. Siran Musbi focus more on the major manufacturing towns of North India. So we have seen about the R. Champakalakshmi, who has given, who has made a study on South Indian towns, but Siran Musbi, he has focused on North India. The Suba of Gujarat, which had long distance trade and craft production, was the most urbanized regions in the empire. So you see, he has studied about Gujarat. So the Subha of Gujarat, which had a long distance, बहुत दूर जाए, long distance trade and craft was going on. Then in the empire and followed by Subha of Agra. So Gujarat first, then followed by Agra. She states that in Mughal India, the total population lived in urban centers is 17%, while 82% resided in countryside. So Mughal India only 17% they were remaining in the urban centers or in the cities, whereas 82% they remaining in the towns. Then Stephen Bloch studied Shahjahanabad as a sovereign city and guided by patrimonial bureaucratic emperors. Patrimonial, not matrimonial. When the male member is the head. Patrimonial bureaucratic emperors, hence the bureaucracy was loyal to the emperor through military, political, economic, and mechanisms and arrangements. So he has given about the urban center of the Shahjahanabad. So this is all about we have discussed. So tomorrow we will discuss. Now it is already time. So my dear friends, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. We will discuss on some aspect. If you have any doubt in any what we will discuss, you can without any hesitation you can ask.
Sir,
কিছু ডাউট নাই
sir, हाँ
କୁହ କୁହ କୁହ
sir medieval period ତାର introduction actually କେମିତି ଦିଆଯିବ ମୁଁ ମାନେ ବୁଝିପାରୁନି ତାର ମାନେ introduction ଟା କଣ କେମିତି start କରାଯିବ ଗୋଟେ question
ପଚାରିଲ ଭଲ କଥାରେ ପଚାରିଲ ଶୁଣ ଶୁଣ ତମେ ମାନେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଟା କଣ ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା ଥିଲେ ସିନା ତାକୁ ଧରି ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ ହବ ନା
ସାର୍ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଅଛି ଯଦି medieval empire ଠିକ ଅଛି ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସି
କିଛି ମତେ କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଲାନି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ତମର କଣ
ସାର୍ ମୁଁ medieval period ର ଯଦି ଦିଆଯାଏ ତାର ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ୟା ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସି କିଛି ବି ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ତ ମୁଁ medieval period ର ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ ଟା କେମିତି ଦେବି ତାକୁ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ କେମିତି କରିବି
ଶୁଣ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଶୁଣ ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ହେଲା ତ ଆମେ ଏଇଟାକୁ ଆହୁରି ମାନେ we have not completed the entire lesson ବୁଝିଲେ ନା ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ଲେନ୍ଦି ପାଠଟା ଏଇଟା ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା so it will take another one period କାଲି କି ମୋତେ ସରିବନି ମୋତେ ଡାଉଟ ଲାଗୁଛି ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ଯେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ବଢିଆ କଥା ପଚାରିଲ ଏଇଟା ବୋଲି ମୁଁ କହୁନାହିଁ ଯେକୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆସିଲେ how we will write it. It is a question of every student, and even during my days when I was a student, I have asked so many times to my teachers. ବୁଝିଲେ ନା ନାହିଁ ପାର୍ବତୀ ପଚାରୁଥିଲ ବୋଧେ ପାର୍ବତୀ କିଏ ପଚାରୁଛୁ ତମ ନାଁ କଣ
ପ୍ରଗତି ସାର୍
ହଁ ପ୍ରଗତି ଶୁଣ ହେଲେ ଏ ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷଟା ହେଲା how you will answer a question ତମେ ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷଟା ମତେ ପଚାରୁଛ so it depends upon the question ଯେତେବେଳେ ମିଡିଏଭାଲ ଟାଉନ କଥା ଆସିଲା ତମେ ଦେଖିବ ଏଥିରେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଗୁଡାଏ ଥିବ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏଟା 3 ନମ୍ବର ପାଠ ମଧ୍ୟ ମୁଁ ସେ ପାଠକୁ ଆସୁଛି ତମକୁ କହିବି You see, ये जो क्वेश्चन जाक आसला 3 नंबर पाठरे what are the approaches to the study of medieval towns first thing you तमे देखो पेज होची 50 बही अछि तम पाखरे
नो सर
बही नाही तो बहीटा काली तमे देखो जे what are the approaches to the study of medieval towns कोन अप्रोच अछि What is the interesting is there. ଏବେ ଯୋଉ କଥା ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଯେ ଏବେ ଆମର ପାଠ ନା ହେଲା approaches to the study of medieval urbanization. ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆମେ ପଢୁଛେ ଯେ ତମକୁ ଯୋଉ ଏଠି ମୁଁ କହିଲି ମହମ୍ମଦ ଘୋରୀଙ୍କ ସମୟରେ କେମିତି ଥିଲା ଏବଂ ତାକୁ କିଏ କେମିତି ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ୱେରେ ଇରଫାନ ହବିବ କେମିତି କହିଲେ, ଶ୍ରୀମାନ ମସବି କଣ କହିଲେ, ହ୍ୱାଟ ଇଜ ଦେयर ଓପିନିୟନ୍ସ ଏବଂ ଏଇଟା କିଏ କହୁଛି 19th ସେଞ୍ଚୁରୀଟା ଆରମ୍ଭ ହୋଇଛି, କିଏ କହୁଛି 13th ସେଞ୍ଚୁରୀରେ କେମିତି ଥିଲା, କିଏ କହୁଛି ଟ୍ରେଡ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ କମର୍ସରେ ଦେ ଗେଭ୍ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାନ୍ସ, ଆଉ କିଏ କହୁଛି ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ଏଇଟା କଣ ଥିଲା ନା ଇଟ୍ ହାଜ different impact on socio-economic, religious, from different points of view are କଣ କଣ impact ପଡିଥିଲା. That is known as the approach. ବୁଝିଲା. Second question ଏଇଠି ଦେଲା how did scholars perceive medieval European cities? ତ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କଥା ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି ୟୁରୋସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରିକ ହେଲା, ହାଉ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ନା ଏ ଯୋଉ ୟୁରୋସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରିକ ଜିନିଷଟା বা ୟୁରୋପିଆନ ଯୋଉ ନୋସନଟାକୁ ସେମାନେ କେମିତି ପରସିଭ୍ କଲେ ଏବଂ what are the reasons, and the main reason is that they developed trade and commerce to the long distance. ଏବେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ତମେ ଦେଖ ତମେ ଏଇଠି ପାଠ ପଢୁଛ, ତମ ଭିତରେ ଓଡିଶାର ସାଙ୍ଗସାଥି ଅଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ତମର ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ସାଙ୍ଗସାଥି ଡେଭଲପ ହବ ଦିଲ୍ଲୀ, ବମ୍ବେ, ଗୋଆ, ଗୁଜରାଟ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ସାଙ୍ଗସାଥି ତମର ଡେଭଲପ ହେବ ଏବଂ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି କଣ କରିବ ତମେ ଡେଭଲପ କରିବ ଫରେନ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିର କେତେ ସାଙ୍ଗମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ ସମ୍ପର୍କ ରଖିବ। ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ହାଇସ୍କୁଲର ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଥିଲି, ଇଭେନ ଅଷ୍ଟମ କ୍ଲାସ ମୁଁ ପାଠ ପଢୁଥିଲି, ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ with the friends of different countries, even France ହେଲା। ମୁଁ କଣ କରୁଥିଲି ନା ସେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ମିରର ପତ୍ରିକା ଆସୁଥିଲା ଆମ ଘରକୁ ହେଲା, ମିରର ପତ୍ରିକାରୁ ମୁଁ କଣ କରୁଥିଲି ନା ଫ୍ରେଣ୍ଡ ମୁଁ ସେଠୁ ବାହାର କରୁଥିଲି, ସେଠୁ ବାହାର କରିକି ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ସେଠି ଚିଠି ଲେଖୁଥିଲି। So this is all about our interest। ହେଲେ ଏ ଯୋଉ କଥା ଆସିଲା ଯେ ୟୁରୋସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରିକ କଥା ଯୋଉ ଆସିଲା ଯେ ଆମେ ୟୁରୋପିଆନ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରି ସହିତ ଆମେ କେମିତି ଆମର ଟ୍ରେଡ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ କମର୍ସ ଡେଭଲପ ହେଲା। ତେଣୁ ତମେ ଯୋଉ କଥା ପଢୁଛ, we will start our introduction from the urbanization. What is urbanization and how it was gradually it was changed. Did you understand what I am telling?
Yes, sir.
Then any question? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Good night. So
Thank you.
tomorrow again we will meet by 7 p.m. Okay. Good night.